How fast is a top 1% oval sim racer in a mixed circuit? This is DJ Yej. He's a 7,000 rating oval driver and coach and YouTuber. In this super fun collab that was requested by you guys, I will coach him on road and he will coach me on oval. You will be surprised with the before and after comparison after this coaching session. I explained him a ton of little things that seem silly, but when they add up, they make a big difference. He found a 1.5 seconds after this coaching session, which moves him from a top 20% lap time to a top 3% lap time in road.
I will start off by saying something really funny that might be taken as a joke, but it's entirely true. I am great at left turns and I suck at right turns.
Even when you're like trail braking and stuff?
Yeah, for whatever reason, it is so much easier for me to make corners, hit apexes how I want to, and all of that, turning to the left, and then I get to a corner where I need to do the exact same thing but turn to the right, and I just don't seem to just have the same like timing, spatial awareness, whatever it is.
Make a hosted in oval, short oval, and go clockwise.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna fix it.
That's actually a good idea.
Because maybe all your muscle memory for corrections are to turn right. It's like you're always brushing your teeth with your right hand, and then suddenly when you switch to the left hand, even though you understand how it works, your body doesn't have the muscle memory for it. This is his driving before the coaching session. I ask you guys to take notes on what he could improve, write it down in the comments, and then edit your comment at the end of the session with what you learned. Okay, let's talk about a few things. I think the biggest difference between road and oval is that you're going to be using the engine braking as one of the tools to rotate the car.
Okay.
Actively.
I have no concept of that at all.
If you turn into the first corner, turn 2, and you downshift as fast as possible to first gear, then you spin.
Right.
If you go and start braking, do exactly the same thing, but you stay on the gear you started braking, say like 5th gear or 6th gear, the car goes straight off.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking about the difference between a total spin and a total understeer.
And that's all due to engine braking?
Keeping everything the same, just changing the engine braking. In most balanced cars, the engine braking is responsible for 33% of the balance. The trail braking is responsible for 33%. The steering is 33%. So they're equal. If you're doing 2 perfectly, but you're missing 1, no matter what the combination is, you're going to have a lot less control of the car, and it's going to be a lot more frustrating. So we're playing with the combination of these 3 tools. And you see, I did not mention throttle. The throttle does not exist. It's just a consequence. If you set up a good exit, the throttle becomes the easiest thing ever. When we reverse engineer a corner in road, we aim for achieving the biggest amount of rotation per second, or yaw rate, at the very lowest speed. And that's the center of each corner. Whatever corner you go, you're gonna have one place where you have the peak rotation and the minimum speed. This is what I call the maximum rotation point of the corner. So every corner will have one. And the benefit of thinking about these points is that they divide the corner into 2 clearly. So if you have a clear maximum rotation point in turn 2, which is more or less somewhere in between the 2 apexes, you do all your planning thinking about reaching that state of peak rotation and reaching minimum speed at that spot. By having that, you structure the corner, you know what to do, you know what to aim for, and then you start building up your plan. So thing you should do is find those points. The first thing you should do is not braking later, Because as soon as you brake too late, you will never reach that point, and your corner is going to be absolutely confusing because you're just trying to fight the car without having a proper understanding of where or when you're going to get out of the corner. First, you learn how to get out of the corners by reaching lots of rotation at the minimum speed, and then you reverse engineer back into your braking reference. In our first laps, I was braking way earlier than you in all corners because I don't have any reference. I didn't practice. But because I know the track and I know some specific spots on each corner, I should reach my peak rotation. That allows me to set up an easy exit, and then I carry a lot more speed than you on exits.
Okay.
The first thing I noticed in your driving is that it looks like you're trying to fight to see who brakes later, as if you're guessing the braking references. But the braking references should not be a trial and error thing, and that's actually something that you're gonna hear a lot of coaches saying, that you have to brake early and then you start braking later and later. Cool, but according to what, right? If you don't know exactly what's the purpose of braking later, it becomes a guessing game. Peak rotation at minimum speed is the most important thing ever. What I want you to do now is be patient under braking. Brake earlier. Brake in a situation where you know, like you're I don't know, you're with your girlfriend in your car and you don't want to kill her.
Right.
You're doing a track day and that's supposed to be a fun experience. So that's how early you're gonna brake. So follow me and let's do a few laps, thinking only about being patient on entry, but then getting that lateral grip used mid-corner. And then you're going to feel, and that's the magic here. I'm not going to tell you to get a better exit. You are going to naturally get better exits because it's going to be obvious to you. Your car is going to be pointed and the exit is going to be right in front of you. Why not accelerate? So it's like you're patient on entry, patient, and then you're like a lot here, and then the exit becomes a lot straighter naturally.
Yeah.
And patience, brake early, first gear, turn slowly, and then turn a lot in power.
I can turn even more than that. This is literally getting to the point where my hands are turned more than I'm even used to having them turn.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of interesting.
Early, first gear, patience, and then turn a lot in power.
And then as you put the power down, you unload the steering wheel? Or do you kind of keep it like that?
You will unload a fraction of a second after you accelerate. You accelerate, and then the force feedback does it for you.
Okay.
So in that scenario, having a higher force feedback is good.
Right. Yeah, because I have a pretty low force feedback still.
Yeah, I would max out.
I'm just gonna mentally have my hands follow what the force feedback is telling me, not try to fight it.
Exactly.
Oh, I spun.
Did you hit the
Yeah,
the
I hit dirt.
Oh, okay.
I survived somehow.
For the corkscrew, just a small thing. You're gonna brake and you're gonna go right, and you stay here. Right, and then you jump down. You aim for this little last blue square of this curb, and you jump down straight.
Okay.
It's a jump. Yeah, it's a straight jump. There's so little grip on the actual jump that anything but straight will not work.
Right.
Patience on turn in, and then turn a lot in power.
Yeah, and just follow the force feedback. That's where I get into trouble, is when I don't follow the force feedback.
You're still braking a little bit too late. As soon as you start fighting with the car on entry, your brain is busy and you can't think of the maximum rotation points. This is why it's so important to not overshoot the corner on entry, because then as soon as you start like fighting the car, you're not learning anymore.
Right.
Don't brake more than 40%. Even on the hard braking zones may be like 60.
Okay.
But like it's that very low percentage as you turn in is gonna make a huge difference. Stay on the right under braking.
Ah, dang.
And then jump.
You don't go that wide here, right?
Yeah, I know. There's so much camera on the inside. Patience, then turn a lot. Let's add another layer. Downshift very quickly. Still being very careful on entry. Just downshift very quickly.
Oh yeah, that slowed me down so much more than I thought it would.
And it's gonna turn more too.
Yeah.
Super
I
early
just
to
had a
second
bad
gear.
angle. Just time that.
Stay on third. Here I do like a 5% trail brake to turn the car.
Okay.
Now get to third as quickly as you can humanly do.
Do you go to second here, or you just keep in third?
I think third should work.
Okay. I was in second there, but I think it's third's better. Oh, I don't
Sorry.
know why I did that. Sorry. No, I brain farted. I hard braked for that for no reason. Okay, I'm gonna try this again.
It's better?
Whoa. I felt like an amusement park ride.
Third gear.
Oh,
And
that
then-
felt really good.
Get to first super early here.
Sorry.
Oh, good. It's my bad.
I was just trying to hit the apex, and I'm like, oh, that was really slow.
Yeah, maybe I think you're turning a little bit too late into that last
Too
corner.
late. Okay, I did a little bit deeper there, and used the quicker downshifts, and that seemed to help.
See, we're just a few minutes into the session, and his driving is already starting to look better and better.
A little more patient there was really carried a lot of speed.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna early brake here. Oh, I think that wasn't smooth enough. I think I just jolted the wheel.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm adding concepts. You're not supposed to remember everything, but I have different names for different ways of seeing it, but essentially it's the same thing. So try to think of an exponential steering trace.
Okay.
That means you're not gonna turn in linearly. It's not gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16.
Okay.
So that means your initial turn in will be very, very subtle. And what you're gonna notice is on turn in, if you downshift very early, 1 degree is enough. The car's already gonna start going.
Okay.
Because the engine braking stresses the rear and it makes the car rotate a lot more. So on initial turn in, almost no steering, just feeling that slight resistance on the forced back should be enough.
Okay.
And then mid corner, you can do a more aggressive steering input.
All right. So, like for instance, here I get on the brake, downshift, use the engine braking, slow turns, and all at once I go like this.
It's not all at once. It's like exponentially, so it's like it's a slope. So there's no
it's still
specific
smooth.
point. Yeah, it's still smooth, yeah, but there's no specific point where you suddenly add too much.
Okay.
It's just an accelerating motion.
Oh.
Yes.
I felt that. Yeah.
I noticed.
Oh, okay. That's huge.
And now you're getting an idea of how much minimum speed you can carry in each corner. Good job.
That was a little too much. It feels so foreign to me, but I definitely feel it gripping up more.
Because now, on entry, what's rotating the car is not the steering. It's the engine braking and the trail braking.
And the steering wheel's just finishing it.
Exactly. The steering works more at the minimum speed, towards the minimum speed. Because you see, let me show you something. Let me go ahead of you.
Oh, I was a 10th in the green on that corner. That was awesome.
Want to see me spinning?
Yeah.
See how easy that was?
Yeah.
I want to spin.
And that was all. Yeah. And that's just you from engine braking.
That's high RPM, 20% brakes, and almost no steering. Try it. What? That was something.
Yeah, I felt that.
Try to spin on track without going off. There you go. There you go. There you go. See? That's full control of how much you point the car using the tools.
There you go.
Now let's forget that. Forget we ever talked about this. Go back to trying to reach that peak rotation at the minimum speeds.
Okay.
So very patient on the steering. Now you know how much steering you need to already make the car point. Almost nothing on entry. Almost no steering on entry. It's almost like the car is turning itself. And then mid-corner, you start ramping up more quickly.
Oh, I felt a little bit of a slide there on the trail braking.
Nice. With barely any steering, right?
Yeah.
That's the secret. Remember that most of this rotation comes from the engine braking. The downshifts help the car slow down, but they act as if you have extra rear bias. You can definitely beat my time with 40% brakes on every corner.
Okay. Oh, I like that. That felt really good.
Nice. Nice.
The exponential steering is huge.
Good line.
If I made it to the bottom there, that would have been really good.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Good job. Now, how stressful is this compared
No,
to
it's
your
easy.
23.8?
It's so easy. This might be stressful still.
No, your line is so much better, man.
Oh yeah, that was still pretty easy, honestly. This is huge. Yeah. That was
Nice.
great.
With the right technique, driving faster actually becomes easier than the way you were driving before. There you go.
Yeah, this is my all-time best right here.
Zero effort.
And it was easy. It was so easy.
Now start braking a tiny bit later and harder.
Okay.
Just see the magic happening. Man, that's such a big change in your driving.
This is crazy. I can't believe how different it is. I was just like overdriving the hell out of everything, and
On entries.
it's just so easy. Yeah.
You're overdriving all entries.
Okay, so you can carry even more speed through there.
Yep.
This is easy now. That's easy.
The only thing I did not tell you was to carry more speed, and you are carrying a lot more speed everywhere.
Yeah. I'm consistent where I used to be completely inconsistent.
Okay, stop here.
Yeah.
Everything we talked about worked so far.
Mhm.
The idea of maximum rotation point, the idea of extracting more lateral grip towards the middle of the corner, towards the minimum speed. And then in order to build that up, to turn in the steering very slowly, and then understanding now more, feeling more the effects of trail braking and engine braking in the balance of the car, while steering less. And then
Yes.
with all that, exponential steering, boom, a lot more consistent. I think now you seem to have an issue with looking forward. I think this is the most stupid way of saying it. It might be more than that. I think maybe you're not actually visualizing how big the arcs are, even on the tighter corners. You seem to be turning in a little bit too late. I'm gonna share my screen to show you something on paint. If you try to imagine that the line is a perfect circle, then you turn in right here. But now you know that if the speeds are getting lower, we can rotate more. So this is the maximum rotation point, geometrically, right?
Yeah.
So that means the line is not a circle. We're gonna stretch that. It's gonna be an ellipse,
Right.
and that fits everything we have been talking about. It fits the exponential steering. It fits using more engine braking on entry, not so much steering, and then steering a lot more here. It fits loading the car laterally as much as possible at this smaller radius here.
Yeah.
But there's a big change with all this. Look at the turning point.
It's earlier. Yeah,
It's
I'm
way
turning in
earlier.
at the point that I would have if I wasn't doing exponential steering.
Yeah, and then what happens? when you try that, when you try to turn in the same way here,
Move that up and you miss it.
I could have told you, hey, change this to turning point too, but I already told you 5 things, and it's very confusing if I tell everything at the same time. So that's why I was
Right.
waiting a little bit. And now that you got the idea, now let's start thinking about turning in 2 car lengths earlier everywhere.
Okay.
That is gonna make it a lot more sense, because just think that whenever you're decelerating, you're doing closing spirals. Whenever you're accelerating, you're doing opening spirals. So your goal is exponential steering and turning in a little bit earlier in order to make that spiraling line. Yes, that's already it. Good job. Look forward, exponential steering. Good job. That's very good.
Sweet.
Nice. Look forward. Good job. Look forward, especially here. Nice. Man, there's so many things that we can talk about. It's crazy. Like what we talked about was probably present in 4 or 5 of my lessons. I have 50 lessons in my online course.
Yeah.
When I made my online course first, it was meant for like 6K drivers to go up to 8K.
Right.
So it was not meant to be a general course for beginners. And then I realized that I had to explain it in the most accessible way possible. So that's why I revamped it to 2.0 last year. And now like people that are beginning 1K, 2K, 3K can understand because I explain it in a way that anyone can apply.
Right.
But it's still 50 lessons. So
Yeah.
what we talked about was maximum rotation point. There's a 20-minute lesson on that, about that. Exponential steering. We talked about the vision, the imagining the spiral arc in front of you, not necessarily only looking forward, but also imagining that spiral, that because it's a very common mistake to imagine fixed radius arc. If you do that, you turn in too late, which is exactly what you did.
Yeah.
So all those subtleties, man, like if we kept only thinking about this for a week, you would get into the 22s and you would drive like a 3K, maybe 4K.
Right.
Right
Yeah.
now you have so much knowledge that is still not converted into a new muscle memory, that for you right now you only have one job: drive 10 hours thinking about these things. And after a few more hours of practice, he sent me this lap, and I'm gonna show you the before and after so you can see the drastic difference in his inputs and the lap time, and how easy it looks to drive much closer to the limit compared to when he was a little bit lost in terms of finding lap time. Sim racing is growing more and more, and it's bringing real-life racers and sim racers together. This is making the competition level rise like I've never seen it before. So if you want to become that competitive, the secret is in the driving technique more than equipment. My professional driving technique course, the Motor Racing Checklist, already has over 3,000 drivers, including real-life drivers and professional esport drivers, just so you know how good it is. I made this course after coaching over 2,000 drivers in one-to-one live sessions, and it contains contains all the advanced concepts, techniques, and exercises that I've developed with my students over all these years of coaching. It's perfect for any simulator, racing games, and also for real-life drivers wanting to use a simulator to improve their real-life driving technique. This course is about car handling skills, and the goal is to make you find better lap times and consistency. You will learn how to prevent and induce specific behaviors and learn how to feel them earlier so you can predict what's happening with the car with professional precision. By the way, this course has a money-back guarantee with no questions asked. So if you don't improve, you get your money back. And you can join my Discord to read reviews and ask any questions. Join the course now and I will see you on track.